study. So today I've made a Brandy Alexander, and we're going to talk about some of the fine points of Piquet with this deck of armored soldiers from France, from Charlemagne to Louis XIII. So for the Brandy Alexander, it's a very nice little drink made with equal parts brandy or cognac, chocolate liqueur, and cream. And I've put a little Mikado stick in there for a garnish, a little swizzle stick. In the past, it has had the stereotype of being a very feminine drink, or even effeminate. If you've read Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh, Anthony Blanche drinks the Brandy Alexander, which is also it's somewhat sweet but very refreshing. If you're worried about it, but you want something similar, you could order a White Russian that instead of cognac and chocolate liqueur, it has vodka and Kahlúa and cream. So cheers. Let's have a look at our cards. Jeu des armours. So, card game of armor. And we've got one joker there, a funny little man with his doublet of crest and the armor and the parts of the armor. The panache, if you remember Cyrano de Bergerac. And panache is this flourishing feather at the top, used now to describe your flourishing character or personality trait. So we're going to put those aside. They're both jokers. And though it would be lovely to go through these, they're very nice little drawings. And looking at the different styles, the implements, the weapons, the helmets, the codpieces, we're going to just sort them out so we can play Piquet with them. I think we'll use the one as the ace. And looks like a game of Piquet has already been played with these, because we've got, oh look, Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc. And these will be the ones that we won't play with. I'll just shuffle through these so you can see them really quickly. If we have time, we'll... Wow, look at his panache there. And quite a big cod piece as well. If we have time later, we can go through and have a look at some of the pictures. Alright. So first I'm going to shuffle these ones. So I've played a couple games of Piquet for you on video. The last one describing the rules a little bit more in detail. During this video, like to play just maybe 1 or 2 hands and go over a few fine points of the game. These cards are very stiff. Alright. Time for some more Brandy Alexander. And when we deal with Piquet, we're going to deal 12 cards each. So each player will have a hand of 12. Right. And with the remaining cards, we're going to deal them in 2 piles. One with 3 and one with 5. So let's have a look at these cards first and put them in some kind of order. In Piquet, because it's for 2 players, it's very difficult to cheat because all of the cards are pretty much known after everyone's hand has been made. And the declarations probably account for most of your point. The trick taking comes after that. So what you want to do is build up declarations. So we've got valets and queens. So valet, dame, and roi for king. Right. And some rather low ones there. So there you can see player A has quite a lot of red, a lot of hearts. And I'm going to set them there. So the player who did not deal is called the elder hand. And the elder gets first choice of trading cards for this pile of 5. So the elder can trade as many as 5 cards. To decide what we want to trade, if we need to trade anything, we have 5 hearts, so 5 in 1 suit. We only have 1 club, and we have a run of 3 in the diamonds, and just 2 spades. So what we're looking for is the most amount of 1 suit and sequence, and our sequence here is 3 and a sequence of 3 there. And also we're looking for a set. So here we have no sets. A set consists of 3 or more of the same card from 10 up. So you can't have a set of 7, 8, or 9. So you need 3 tens, 3 valets, 3 queens, or 3 kings, or 3 aces, at least. Sometimes you can have 4. We don't have any of that in this hand. What we're going to do is leave the hearts because we might get a good point. So we have now what we would call a point of 5. Point of 5 hearts. That's quite good. And we're going to take away the ace of clubs. Okay, that's Henry IV, Colonel Général de l'Infanterie of the reign of Henry IV, just in case you're curious. And this is the Seigneur de Bayard, or Bayard. We only have 4 diamonds, a valet, a queen, and a king. So I'm going to take this 8 away because it's really not doing us much good. And the rest we have is a queen and a 9. There are 3 cards, 2 cards above the queen, the king and the ace. So the queen will be the 3rd card. So if we don't get the king or the ace, this will be no good to us unless we have 2 cards below it. We only have 1. It's worth trading. It might or might not be worth keeping this to get a set of queens. For today's game, for today's hand, we'll keep it and see how things go. Alright, so what we're going to do is the elder hand is trade 3, which means we take the pile of 5, we take 3 from the top, and we're allowed to look at the bottom 2. The bottom 2 has the ace of spades and the 7 of diamonds. We know the other player is going to get that if they decide to take some. So the younger player can now trade up to 5 cards. The 3 they already had, plus the 2 from the top. And those are the cards that we've discarded. So in essence, nobody would know what they were except you. So we've got now a valet and a queen in spades. We know the opponent will have the ace if they trade, and a 10 and an ace in clubs. Not a great hand, but at least we've got 1 ace. Let's see what the opposing player has. So this will be the younger hand. So we'll start with our hearts. So remember, unlike bridge, where there are trump suits, Piquet does not have that. So there's no bidding, but there are declarations. So this is not a bad hand at all. Now, what we have is a sequence of valet, queen, and king. Valet, dame, and roi. Also have a 7 and 9. So we do have a point of 5 in clubs. 7 and an 8 is not doing us much good there. Of spades. There's no point keeping that 8, so we know we can trade 5. And we don't have any other 10s, so we're going to get rid of that 10, because if we had more 10s we might have a set, but we don't, so there's not much chance of making a set. 7s and 8s are only good if you think you can make point or you've got a sequence. So we're going to trade 4 as the younger player, which means we pick up the top 4 cards and the other one gets put away and no one gets to see it. So look what we've picked up. There are all the spades. So we've got 10, king, and 1 of spades. And we've picked up the 7 of diamonds, which doesn't help us much. So now we're ready for declarations. Time for some more Alexander. And this is a scorecard that I've made up because I used to play all the time, and it helps keep things in order. So I'll be putting this up in the corner there during the game from time to time to show you how these are scored. As the elder hand, player A begins declarations. Declarations are begun with point, or how many cards of the same suit. 5 is a pretty good point. So player, the elder, declares point of 5. Here, the younger hand also has 5. if the younger hand did not have 5, then the points would go to the elder hand. However, we have to break this tie. In order to break the tie, the younger hand declares how much. This tells the elder hand that he has 5 in the same suit as well. So we have to count points or values to determine which player will win this point declaration. Aces are worth 11. Face cards, the king, the valet, the queen, are all worth 10 each. Every other card is worth its face value. So we'll count the points to answer the younger player. So the elder hand has 10, 20, 30, 46. So the elder will say 46. These values are only good in determining who wins the tie. They aren't points that are added up for the score. So the younger hand has 10, 20, 30, again 46. They both have the same amount, so no one gets the point score. Next is declaration of sequences. Here we know we have a sequence of 9, 10, and valet, 9, 10, jack. We also have a sequence of jack, queen, king in diamonds. So that's what we will go with, the diamonds, because it's a higher top card. So the elder hand will make the declaration for sequence of 3. Can the younger hand beat that with a sequence of 4? No, but the younger hand does have a sequence of 3, jack, queen, king, or valet, dame, roi. In which case, again, we have to break the tie. So the younger hand then asks, how high? What's your highest card in your sequence? The elder hand responds, roi, or king. And the younger hand responds also, king. Therefore, again, no one gets these points. In scorekeeping, the sequence of 3 is usually called a tierce. Now, our next declaration will be sets. A set of 3 or more. So a set of 3 is called a trio, and a set of 4 is called a quarte. We don't have anything in the elder hand. We have 1, 2, 3 valets. We only have 1 ace. And it's a good guess from the elder hand that the younger hand has those 3 aces, because you wouldn't throw them away. However, we have to remember there is 1 card that is unaccounted for. Also, we've got 7, 9, 10, jack, and king of hearts. We didn't throw away any hearts, so we know that the younger player must have the ace and the queen, unless it's in the mystery card, and possibly the 8, unless they threw it away. And did they? They did. But the elder hand will not know that. The diamonds also, we don't have the ace, but we do have the other first 3 face cards. The rest are a mystery. We can assume that the younger player does have the ace. So here we have 2 cards that are going to be able to win the tricks. The other one will be thrown away to the ace. Here again we have 2 cards that can win the trick, possibly 4, and 1 will be thrown away to the ace. Here, and with our spades, we can assume that the younger player has the king and the ace. Therefore, these are both losing cards in tricks. Here, the ace is probably the only winning card in clubs that we have. The 10 will probably not win anything because we can assume that the queen and the king are with the younger hand. Again, there is still one card unaccounted for because it's a mystery card. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So assuming that the younger hand has 3 aces, we know that they cannot have 3 or more kings because we have 2 of those. They cannot have 3 or more queens because we have 2 of those. But we must declare what we do have, which is 3 jacks. We also have 2 tens, and we didn't throw one away. So the opponent, the younger hand, will have at least one of the tens, unless they threw one away. So we make the set declaration of a trio of jacks or valets. Can the younger hand beat that? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3 aces. Those are higher than kings in Piquet, so we make the declaration of no good, 3 aces. So now we can score. We'll get our pens. And we have the first score in the declaration. So the younger hand, or player B, has a trio of aces, which is 3. So there's 3 points for a trio, and if you have a carte, you have 14 points. What else can the younger player declare? Roi, roi, dame, dame, nothing else. So no more declarations. Once the younger player has won that declaration, they can make another one for sets, but there are no sets. There are no more sets. So now we move on to the play. So move those up there, and these just down here. The elder hand begins, and we're going to play our high card, the ace of clubs, and now we start counting our points that we win in tricks or that we lay down. So we've laid down the 1, so we say 1. The younger player can either play a high card or low one. We're going to play this 7 because it's not worth anything. So that's 1 trick for the elder hand. Now the elder hand begins again. We know the 10 is not going to be a winner. Nothing else we have is going to be a winner because there are 3 aces that we know the younger hand has because of the declarations. So we're going to flush out his ace, and we're going to do that with diamonds because underneath our king of diamonds we also have 2 more winning cards. So you can play either the jack or the queen or the king. They're all pretty equal. Against that ace. So there is trick 2. And that gets lost to the ace of diamonds. So in taking that, the younger player declares 1 point. Now the younger player can play, and as the younger player we're going to try and get some more points here. So 2. Have nothing to play here because we know we don't have any winning cards in spades. 3. And 4. So the younger player knows he's played the ace and the jack's been played, and he's played the king and the queen's been played. So we know the 10 is the next highest one. It's going to be a winner no matter what. It is going to win because the elder hand has no more spades. So we find a card to throw away, which will be the 7. So that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have a similar situation as the elder hand. We can try and flesh out the king of hearts with the ace, but since we don't have any more hearts, we know that there are more that the elder hand has to throw away, so that queen's not going to be much good. We also know that the ace of clubs has already been played by the elder hand, and that makes these 3 cards winning cards. So now is the younger hand's chance to play clubs. The elder hand has just the 10 of clubs. So that's one. And we'll do, that was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 5. So we always make that declaration when we lay the card down, 5. And that trick is picked up by the younger hand. And we'll continue to play clubs to empty out the hand of the elder. 6. 7. Now as the elder hand, we know that the ace of hearts has not been played. And if we get rid of that jack, the king is no longer going to be a winner. So we have to worry about that and this one as well. But we know that the ace of diamonds has been played. So both of these cards are winners if they're played in their suit. So now we're going to go 8, and we can throw this away. Now what can the younger hand do? We've got a heart. 9. And here we're going to get rid of the jack. And 10. And the elder hand picks that up with the king, and that's 3 for the elder hand. And 4. And as the elder hand picks up the last trick, we say 5. So you get an extra point for picking up the last trick. The elder hand then, for play and tricks, has taken 5. The younger hand has taken 10. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10 that got taken. So that's 10, plus the younger hand has taken more tricks than the elder hand. So that's plus 10 onto that. So that's 20 points in trick taking for the younger hand. Now, do you think you know what that mystery card is? It's the 9. No one missed that. And it's Charles the 9th. Let's do one more hand and see if any interesting things occur for fine points of Piquet. And the last of our Brandy Alexander. Or not quite the last. There will be one more little sip. In Piquet, there are 6 hands in a party. So 6 hands make up a party. If in declarations the one player gets up to 30 points before play has commenced and before the other player has been able to declare any points, then a 30 or 60 point peak is added to that player's score. If they're able to score 30 points with declarations and tricks before the other player scores anything, it's a 30-point bonus for a peak. Okay, bit of sloppy dealing with the slippery cards. They are very stiff. So this time we're going to say that player B is the elder hand. And it looks like a pretty good hand to start with. So you always take turns being the elder or the younger hand. Let's see if I can get those just in the right spot. I always had to pay attention to how I sorted my cards at different points playing this game, because sometimes I played with people who were very good at counting cards, and just by the way I sorted my cards they could tell right away what I had, and so that's always a consideration. So there, as the elder hand, player B now, who was the younger hand in the last hand that we played, has the option to trade at least 5 cards. So we'll start with the clubs. It is always good to keep a buddy with the king, just in case that's all you get, but we can easily get rid of the 7. This king of hearts has a buddy as well. Here we have the ace of diamonds, so we don't need this 8, because it doesn't look like we have a lot of sequence or point. Here we have a possible sequence if we get the 9, but it is a point of 4. How useful is that going to be? I'm willing to take a chance and get rid of those. These aren't very useful by themselves, but we are only allowed to change 1 more card, and I think that would make things a bit awkward. So we're just going to change 4, and those are the ones we're changing. The 7 and 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds, 7 of clubs. So we declare 4. We take the first 4, can look at the last one, the 9 of spades, which we needed and aren't going to have now, and that goes on top of the other one, which means the younger player has the option of trading up to 4. What have we gotten here? Not bad. We have a 10 of diamonds, which might or might not be of any use at all. That's a throwaway card. We have the queen of spades, so that gives us a sequence of 3 there in spades, and we have some friends for the king of hearts, the 9, the jack, and the king. So we have a solid point of 4 in hearts. It's not a great hand, but we'll see how we can do. Let's see what the younger hand has. So we have 8, 10, jack, queen, and ace of clubs. 7, 8, 10, and ace of hearts, ace of spades, and 7 and queen of diamonds. Right away, we can get rid of the 7. The queen is only third in line, and we'd have to have 4 cards for her to be any good. Or 3. Here we have no sequences there. There's a very short sequence of 3 here, but a point of 5, which is really good. So we probably want to keep the clubs. We can trade up to 4. I think we should get rid of the 7, 8, and 10 of hearts. So goodbye, Francois the First, with your giant codpiece. And we're taking all 4 cards, which gives us a nice king of spades, 9 of spades, which the elder hand refused. And then we also have friends for Joan of Arc. We have a valet and a 9. So the younger hand's not doing too badly in this partie. So again, player B is now the elder, player A the younger. Player B, the elder, starts declarations with the point of 4. Younger hand can easily top that with point of 5, so we don't need to count. So the younger hand gets a point of 5, which means 1 point for each card. Now we go to sequence. We know we have a sequence of 3 and another sequence of 3. So we're going to go with this one because it has the highest top card. Sequence of 3 is declared by the elder hand. We have a sequence of 3 here, and that's it. So the younger hand can ask how high. Elder hand says king. We can't beat that. So the younger hand says good for you, and the elder hand scores 3 for each sequence of 3 cards. If you have a sequence of 5 or more, you get plus 10. So with that tierce, it's now time for the sets. Trios and cartes. We have a trio of kings, but we also know that the younger hand is probably going to have the 3 aces. What else have we got? 1 queen, 2 queens. So the younger hand is only going to have 2 queens. And 2 jacks. The younger hand's going to have 2 jacks. But we must make a declaration. So we say 3. Trio of kings. Roi. Can we beat that? Yes, we can. We say it's no good because the younger hand has 3 aces. So we get that trio on declarations. What else can we declare now that we've won that one as the younger hand? Only have 2 queens. We only have 2 jacks. 1 10. So that's it. No more declarations. Now play is begun by the elder hand. And we're going to start with our up to now winning suit. So move these down a little bit. And that's 1. 2. 3. Here I'm playing out the diamonds because I want to get that queen out of there. And now I know that the younger hand is going to start because I can give away my 9 if he plays the ace of clubs. Equally, I've got 3 cards here. One of them will be a winner because the younger hand will have the ace and the king. Here, 3 of these cards, well, at least 2 will be winners to the ace of hearts. So now that the younger hand has first play, I'm going to go with our long suit 1. Oh, sorry, the younger hand took that, so that's going to be 1, and this is 2. There go the pipes in this very old house. I don't know if you can hear them, but sorry about the hissing. 3. And we know that the elder hand probably can beat that, so I'm not going to press with that. And we're going to try and flush out the king. 4. We can get rid of that. So I know the king is still at large, so one of these cards is going to be a loser. So what I can do is either flush out the rest of his spades, or go for a win with a heart and then flush out either the clubs or the spades. I think I'm going to flush out his king. 5. And that is 4 for the elder hand. And we're going to start. We know that the ace of hearts has not been played, but we know that this is probably going to be a winner. So we're going 5. And we'll flush out the ace. 6. 6. 7, and the rest are winners. 8, 9, and 10. So again, the younger hand has scored 20 points in tricks, 10 on the face, and plus 10 for the most tricks. And the elder hand has scored 6. So there you have 2 hands in one partie of Piquet. Bringing the totals down, you can see the places for Pique is plus 60 and Ray Pique is plus 30. Neither player scored that. So we have the totals for player A, 5 and 25, and for player B, 23 and 12. After 6 hands in the final scoring, the player who has the most points scores a total of 100 points, and the loser scores nothing. If the loser has crossed the Rubicon, or the total of their points adds up to more than 100, then in addition to the 100 points, the winner scores the difference of the 2 scores. If the loser has not crossed the Rubicon, the winner then scores 100 plus the sum of the scores. So you can really lose your shirt in this game, or the summer cottage. And that's our last sip of Brandy Alexander. That's for the glass. Let's have a look at our cards. So this is an officer in the army of Louis XIII. This man, who looks almost like a fool himself, he's a Swiss guard from the reign of Francis I. This looks like a musketeer, or arquebusier. It's an arquebus that he's got, and a stand to hold it on, to hold it steady, from the reign of Henry III, Henri III. We have another cool, I don't know what that weapon is. Very weird looking thing. Coulevrinier. Looks like another projectile firing weapon from the reign of Louis XI. And another one from the reign of Francois I, a halberd bearer. And here's Mr. Codpiece from the reign of Francis I. It's just a soldier, and he's bearing arms, the flag. So Francis has got the weirdest ones, hasn't he? Another one from Louis XIII, and a little firearm there, a very small firearm, musketeer. And where is Louis? Here he is. That's our early musketeer from 1601 to 1643, so during the 30 Years' War. Another Louis XII. This is a knight with his armor, and his coat there. He's not wearing a pelisse. He's got a very beautiful scabbard for his sword, blue with some gold on it, gold fleur-de-lis. This one is from Henry II. It looks like he's an archer, a Scottish archer. So we know that Henri II, during that reign, Scotland was allied with France, and I think it was his wife, Marie. Well, I'm not going to go there because I think I might say something wrong, so I'll just leave that as it is. Now we have an officer of the gate, Henry II. Now we have another knight with his armour and very big broadsword from the reign of Charles VII. Charles VII. Look at that. That is a queen with a very, very large headdress and heavy silk from the reign of Charles VII again. Let's put Charles' reign over here. And this one, again, Charles VII, and this is the armour and emblem of l'arrière. This, with his little pick, looks like tournament armour rather than battle armour. Here is a jouster. Jean Porton Xaintrailles. Again, Charles VII. Very fancy armour. And a little bit later, Charles IX. Here we have armour that's covering the pantalettes, a little bit, pantaloons rather, and also a striped pelisse. This is even earlier, probably the earliest one. This is a warrior in the reign of Charlemagne. So we have plated armour there with a helmet, and it looks like a little feather on top. You can see the shield is quite different as well. And we've got a different kind of sword too, halberd there. Another codpiece special from the reign of Francis I. And again, these men are very colorfully dressed. I think Francois gets the prize for that. Henry IV, very well covered there with chainmail and armor. That is an infantry colonel. I should put him here where we can see him. And we have another beautiful lady in her dress lined with ermine and white silk with a beautiful belt and chain. Diane de Poitiers. And surprisingly, this beautiful dress goes with the reign of François Ier. Philippe le Bon III. So this is the reign of Philip III, and this is an archer with his chainmail and armor and the helmet that covers part of his face, the big long bow that he's got. So 1396 to 1467, that would have been near the end of the 100 Years' War. Charles IX, another arquebusier with a giant firing arm. Charles VII, and this one is another firing arm, but it's like a crossbow type of a thing. And a big, very rectangular shield. Chainmail, from the time of William the Conqueror. Look at that. You can see a lot of these types of helmets and shields on the Bayeux tapestry in Bayeux. And here we go with Francis I again. This knight has armor and this skirt. So it's possible, well, more than possible, I think we can safely say he's a mounted knight because he's got his spurs. So this is going to be around his hips on the saddle. Another foot soldier from Charles IX. Here we have a warrior from the reign of Hugh Capet. The Capetians were very unpopular monarchs. Catherine de' Medici, that's the one I was trying to think of, the wife of Henry II, in her beautiful ornamental gown. Another from Henry II, and this is a knight in jousting armor with his lance. So both of these from Henry II. And we have Henry III, very fancy chevalier there, and a very fancy scabbard for his sword. We have lots of gold embroidery and inlay in his clothing with fancy garters. Last one we have Louis VI. So very long robe there, as well as chainmail over the top. Jeanne d'Arc, of course, and a foot soldier from the reign of Henry VII. So we can look at the armor once again. So you can see all of the parts of that suit of armor. But when it gets complicated is with the cloth pieces that cover them. And the parts that cover the thighs have different names depending on which part of the thigh they cover. So not all of the names are here. It's a very complex thing, armor. There we are. Thank you for spending this time playing Piquet with me once again. I hope that you've enjoyed going over some of the fine points of the game and that you found it relaxing. If you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. And above all, be extraordinary.